Okay, hey everybody, and welcome to today's class. Today's class we're going to be transferring our picture on the left to the one on the right. So using some color to create our alien Arizona landscape. I'm going to be using Autodesk sketchbook to do this. So before we begin, you must have a good photograph of your artwork. So I'm going to begin by loading up the program and then clicking the icon on the top left and going to new sketch, and then I would just choose whatever it says for the screen size. Then I am going to tap on the icon which is the second one from the left, which has the tools, and I am going to choose import image, and then I'm going to select the photograph that I have of my artwork that you should have taken and turned in for Monday, which was the Arizona landscape level 1. Next, I'm going to adjust this layer to make it as dark as possible. So I'm going to click on those two diamonds in the top bar, second from the right. I'm going to click on color balance. So I click on my image and then click on color balance. Then I'm going to move this scale that you can see on the top bar all the way to the right, which is going to help it get nice and dark. Changing it from midtones to shadows will also make it darker. It's just to help our sketch stand out as much as possible. Hit done, go back to the layers again, click on your layer again. This time click the HSL adjustments right next to the color balance. And this time in that middle bar, I'm going to turn the saturation all the way down to the left to make our image go from being colorful to colorless. So we have a nice dark sketch. Now it's going to be time to start adding some color. So I'm going to go back to my layers tab, then I'm going to hit that plus sign at the top of the bar. I'm going to get a new layer. Then I change that, what it's called the opacity, which is how dark things are, move it down to about 50%. This means that when we start coloring, we'll be able to see our artwork underneath our color. So actually I left it at 55%. So now it's time to start coloring. So you can see that color wheel up on the top bar. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to choose the first color which I'm going to use for my sky in the background. Then I'm going to choose the pen that I want to use. I started with the fountain pen, but in fact I switched it eventually. And using my finger now, I'm just tracing around the areas that I want my sky to be. So it's important to draw a border first of all, and then you go to the tools and you choose the fill bucket, and that is in the menu on the second from the left. Switching now to this technical pen because I think it's a bit easier to draw with. So if you have any issues, you can click on the little circle in the bottom middle of your screen and you can get the undo button to just go back and undo what you have with any mistakes that you made. So you can see I'm just tracing around this for my sky. So it's really important when we do these, make these outlines, that we don't leave any gaps, because if you leave any gaps, then it will, when you go to use the fill, it will just fill up the entire page. So really important to make sure there's no gaps as you go. All the little corners are joined together. Go to that fill tool and just drop it in there. You see I accidentally pressed fill on there, so when I pressed undo to go back, just checking I've got a pen that I like. Now I'm going to make this kind of planet moon this nice fuchsia color. Purple for this moon. And then I'm just going to keep going through the whole of the rest of my picture, choosing a different color for each element and then filling it. So if you're using paper and pencil to do this, or if you're using Pixlr, then it's all very similar. This is all the same. Well, sorry, if you're using digital things, it's the same process. Paper and pencil are obviously a little bit different. You can use paint if you wish. Whatever medium you want to use for this project, feel free. So I'm just going to let the video play through this so you can just see how I coloured in the rest of this picture. So you can see just then I found out that I made a mistake. So somewhere around all those areas that I drew, I left a gap. So I went and I got a thicker pen, then I was working around it, just trying to find that gap and close it up. I thought I'd found it, but no, still filled the whole page up again. So I had to go back in and redo these outlines. And just to clarify for this, I am only using my finger for this. So you guys can do the same, you just can do this just as well as I can on your phone with just a finger. Okay then, so once you are all done, you are going to save this as a sketch. So this time you're going to press the top left button and now you're going to hit share. And then that should give you a place to save it on your device. And then you're going to use that picture to turn in on Google Classroom. All right, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come up with today.